Alrighty, let's do that and that. Hey guys, wow, good crowd. Let's see, let me turn that down a little bit because that's loud. Man, that's loud. Okay, Paul, good to see you, and Kurt, and Sean. Just looking at the chat here real quick. Danny, good to see you. Yeah, you've been working on music like crazy, Danny. I've been following on the Blue Sky there to see where you're at. So I made a bunch of changes, as always. It's what I do. So let me know if things sound weird or any weirder than usual. Man, that's really loud. Okay, so digging the jam. Thanks, Kurt, and thank you, Sean, on the comment on the sound. That we'll get into what was in the jam in just a moment. I'm going to go back to the normal order. I didn't like the way it went last week. Kind of jumping around didn't work for me. So anyway, Paul, if you will remember, I did volunteer. I'd drive you out to Chicago for last year for Knobcon. You didn't want to go, so you missed your chance last year. And for those who want to fly to Chicago for Knobcon, you won't be able to go on Southwest. I saw in the news today that they are pulling out. Well, they may still fly in the Midway, but they're pulling out of O'Hare. So found that interesting because there's some other stuff that was related to that little bit of. So a few months ago, it was announced that there was going to be a kind of a joint venture, I guess, kind of thing with the kind of joint venture with Southwest and Iceland Air. They were partnering to bring give Iceland Air more routes into the United States and throughout the United States. As it is now, they all kind of stop here on the East Coast, and so Southwest was going to be their excuse me. That snuck up onto me. That was going to be Southwest was going to be Iceland Air's connection into the continent, and I know one of the routes that they were very excited to be able to fill was going to be able to fly to Chicago. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out in the end. How that's going to come out in the wash. But anyway, that has nothing to do with music. Just how people get to Chicago from Baltimore. I do it in a truck, so I drive. The last couple times I flew on United was not a fantastic trip. I tend to avoid them now. But anyway, I got spoiled by Iceland Air. That's part of it. When I flew to Iceland. Let me get a drink real quick. Got a scratchy down my throat. All right. Anyway, so let's see. Let's get into it. What was in the jam? There's only like 2 bits of software in the jam and 2 bits of hardware. So pretty simple tonight. Let's go ahead and start out with the software stuff. And for that, we will jump over to this, and or we will eventually jump over to this. Here it goes. And let's see. Drove to Chicago from Pennsylvania once. Just not a thing I'll do again. Of course, I did it from down here in Westminster last year, and I don't know where you were doing it from in Pennsylvania, Danny. From here, it's not that bad. I mean, it's long. It's a long drive. It's 12 and a half hours. But last year was not the first time that I've made that drive in my life. I used to do it actually fairly frequently. And so, it didn't bother me. But I cranked up some tunes and just you know, stopped every couple, 3 hours to get up, walk around the truck and get a drink or whatever. And it was a fine drive. So anyway, up in the jam, what you're hearing now is out of Absynth 6, or 6.1 actually. And I don't know if this is a new patch or not. It's all presets tonight. I didn't, maybe slightly tweaked, but all presets tonight. So this is a preset out of Absynth called High Variance. And kind of an interesting thing. Let's see, let's go ahead and stop the sequence here. So obviously a padish kind of sound. That'll do it, Danny. I mean, you gotta pace yourself, and like I said, my knees start to lock up if I'm sitting still for more than a couple hours. So I have to stop and walk around every couple 3 hours. I'm also old, and so there are other things that cause me to have to stop fairly regularly. But anyway. Let's see. Yeah, I've done that. I've done that before, kind of thing, Paul. I just roll, you know, just roll on through. And like I said, stop for food too. But you know. So anyway, second track up. This little guy was also out of Absynth 6.1. Oh, that was nice. Come back here. Come back, computer. There we go. This one's called Arrival. Pistachios are not my favorite friend. Pistachios and beef jerky. Oh, geez. Oh, man. That would be the end of my stomach. That's all there is to it. So, anyway, that was the second track. It was Absynth, this Absynth 6.1 thing. The next track is Empty for now, and after that, this is out of the Zebra 3, the final beta for this hit the streets the other day. So I was using its internal sequencer. A lovely little pairing, eh, Paul? So anyway, a nice simple sequence or arpeggiated thing there out of Zebra 3. And then also out of Zebra 3, we have this thing called the Big Bad Bram, which I was using as a bass. This is kind of a bass drone. Let's see, and then also was the modular. This is a wild patch. It's a modification of the patch that I've used the last couple of weeks. So this, the the patch, let's see. If you guys, well, the patch is. Let's get the camera over there. Take you guys on a brief ride. Let's go there. Give it a second to get there. And yep. Okay, so patches is a combination as usual. I got I added a bunch more into, or not a bunch, but some more into the 2600. In the previous iterations, this had been droning is all it was doing. It's now playing. It's not even in the mix. Gosh, it's supposed to be doing stuff. Patch is supposed to sound like this. I know it's only a subtle difference, but there's just this quiet little building thing coming out of the 2600. That adds in with stuff coming out of the rack below. So we've got a triangle wave coming out of the 110, going through both the FARB folder and the WASP filter. And that gets modulated a whole bunch. Those get modulated a whole bunch of different ways, including the mod wheel. Okay, so anyway, that was the modular, what I was coming out of the modular. Function junction handling all the envelope stuff. Yeah, all of the envelope stuff. So also using it for the envelope for the 2600 sounds as well. And we've got different envelope on the WASP filter than on anything else. Got a little bit of mod wheel is driving the fold on the FARB folder. And probably a couple other things. Let's see, purple. Let's see. The purple wire, but not this purple wire. This purple wire goes into, yeah, it's just driving the FARB folder directly. Using the key step 37 as the MIDI to CV interface, but I can also play it from here. So that then is what's coming off the modular. Bird's not happy. So let's move this back over to here to finish up, and we'll go there. Let's see. Finally, in the jam. Oh, we have, man. Going to be one of those nights tonight. Also in the jam, we had the Polybrute. And I don't know where the detune is coming in this patch, because it's not, there's nothing driving oscillator, any of the oscillator tunings. So it's really kind of a weird sound. The FM is out and so's the AM. So it's like, it's really weird. And I just ran a retune on the thing. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. So anyway, And I do have that on the XY pad. For those who don't remember, last week I had gotten the actual control of the Morphe from the I got in control of the Morphe from the sequencer and from the remote pad. So let's see. Oh, effects. So let's see. On this last patch, all the effects are internal to the Polybrute. Going back to the modular, as usual, the effects are through the TC Electronic Plethora X3, and there's the usual delay and reverb over there. Pretty much the thing I usually do. Go back through the rest of it. I think all the rest of stuff, if I remember correctly, looking at this, all the effects on Zebra 3 on this track are turned off. The effects on Zebra 3 on this track are turned off, so any effects on those two have been internal. Absynth, no effects, so just internal. And on this track of Absynth, the effects are turned off. So the only thing that's turned on as far as an effect kind of thing is concerned is this guy down here. And all this is a, all this does is move the bass, the low frequency stuff below whatever the frequency I have it set as, I can't remember. But below a certain frequency, it's all set to, fades the bass into mono, just to try and reduce the chance of phase cancellation in the low end. So that was what's in the jam. And then the rhythm's coming off the same thing as last week. It's out of Myth, which is a contact instrument by Ocean Swift. So basically a sample player. So that's it for the jam. I'm hearing a little bit of overdrive and I'm not seeing where. So bear with me here for a second. I want to talk and see if I'm overdriving. No, I'm not driving the input too far. At least not that input. So bear with me one more second. I'm going to try and open up something else here and see if I'm overdriving the input to this guy. Jump into audio, and I'm not overdriving the input. The output's not going much past -6 or 7. So I'm not sure where that overdrive's coming in. Maybe just into the mic itself. So we quit out of there. All right, so let's see. Let's get into stuff. So yeah, Indiana is the worst part of the trip, I think, if you're driving out to Chicago. And last year, part of the reason it was so bad was all of the construction that was going on. I mean, it's like you get up to speed, you get out of a construction zone, you get up to speed, and your time to go into another construction zone and slow back down. So that part of the trip was pretty brutal. Ohio there was some of that going on in Ohio as well. Once we got to Illinois, it was pretty smooth sailing. So it was all the construction. Coming back, I didn't stay on the interstate through most of Indiana. I actually dropped down to Fort Wayne and came across a little bit across Route 30 because I stopped at Sweetwater to see what was going on there. And on the next trip when I go out, I'm actually planning to make a couple stops in Elkhart. I want to get a tour of a couple of the RV manufacturers' plants. So I'll probably spend an extra day in the Elkhart, Indiana area for that. Yeah, there's not much. There's not really much to Indiana unless you're looking for specific things. um, and then you can find stuff. If you want, the roads are, like I said, under construction, or were under construction last year. I'm going to guess that they'll be better this year, at least the interstates. And as far as boring versus interesting, interstates are boring. I don't like them. I use them because they're fast. But something like that, except that it takes forever, I much prefer going on like that would be Route 30, and that would be an alternative. Sometimes when we go out to Ohio, we go to Western Ohio. We'll take large portions of it across Route 50, just to get out of the interstate traffic, and it's a little more direct actually to where we're going to. So when we go out to Dayton, but that's that'll be the next trip. Actually, there are dates for Knobcon. I don't have them handy, but plenty of time. It's like the second weekend, and it's either the first or second weekend in September. I think actually it's the weekend of September 11th. So the second full weekend. Interesting. Better go see it soon. Wow. Yeah. So the date the official dates were up on the Facebook page for Knobcon. It is the weekend of the 11th. Unless they changed it. 15-minute drive. Yeah, well, depending on how many stops and how long I stop, it's 12 and a half hours, 13 hours, something like that. Like I said, I didn't find it that bad. And I'm looking forward to it, to doing it again this year. It's a fun visit. So anyway, stuff to talk about. As you all know, I am continuing my adventures in learning my way through Bitwig, and I have it mostly under control. But there are things that, there are some things that I do miss from Ableton Live. The biggest one is the MIDI capture function. I like the in Ableton Live. Ableton Live is always listening, and so you can play something, you say, hey, I like that. There's a button you can hit, and it remembers. It pulls up into a clip the last bit, and depending on how you have your loop length set, it'll loop the last however many measures of what you did, and then oh, that's a bad joke. And then you can, of course, adjust it, whatever you want to do. But it's a great, if you capture a good noodle, you capture a good noodle. I have not found that in Bitwig if it's there. So to me, that's the biggest thing that I missed so far. And then the other thing that I can't find, and it may or may not be in there, I don't know. Ableton has a series of MIDI tools, and you can do things like you can highlight, arrange a notes or a clip, and with a single button you can reverse that, or you can invert it. And I haven't found that if it's in Bitwig yet. Bitwig does have a ton of MIDI tools, but I haven't found those two, or those three really. So looking at what's going on in the chat there, The Chinese, oh, Jeff, so I'm not sure where that is. Oh, it's a controller script. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, I saw that. The problem is with retrospective is that it then replaces your controller script. And I don't know if you can have two controller scripts running for the same controller at the same time. So I don't know if that would work or not. Although I guess if you can get into one script and you get into the two scripts, you can kind of merge them together and write your own. The worst that would happen is it wouldn't work and you delete it. So, wouldn't actually hurt anything. And the horn guys are talking. That's okay, guys. My dad was a horn player, and so I have a little bit of interest in that. My dad played horn in the Air Force band back in the late 50s. And he played horn in the drum and bugle corps, and then also occasionally with the Airmen of Note. He was actually the road manager for the Airmen of Note, but he would fill in or but he had basically blown out his lip, which is why he moved over to road managing. So yeah, runaway chat here, never. So anyway, unfortunately, he got rid of the horns that he was playing back in the day. He's got he bought a trumpet that I've not even looked at, and it's still sitting in the box. It's probably not very good, but one of these days I'll bring it up from the house. I'll take it over to Paul's and let Paul take a look at it. But I don't think it was a good one. To be honest, because it was very late in life and he was going to try and play again, and never happened, unfortunately. So let's see, what else going on. So yeah, I like that feature, Jeff. The MIDI capture feature, or whatever it is that Ableton calls it, I can't remember. But I like that one a lot because I noodle a lot. It's like I can never remember what I played for more than 30 seconds. So that MIDI capture saved my bacon a few times when I would come up with something really good. So let's see. Okay, so other stuff. I continue to add stuff and play around with stuff in the studio. I still hate OBS, just for the record. So the way the things work now, I think I might have mentioned this last week, I'm starting to use OBS to handle the chat overlay that you see there and the lower third thing that pops up when you guys type something in. And so currently I've got a machine, this Mac Mini here is running the little server that generates all that, listens to your guys in chat, and then listens to you guys in chat, and then does the overlays, or creates the overlay information. There's a second Mac Mini down here that is actually running another copy of OBS, or running a copy of OBS, and that generates the screen. The problem that I have is it's just simple stuff. Like the way it works is we've got this copy of OBS running here. And this is basically acting as a receiver for the information from chat. And so when you guys type something, it gets picked up by the one Mac, shows up here. This thing gets routed into the ATEM switcher on a screen that looks like this to get chroma keyed over everything else. The problem is this particular screen that you're seeing now is called a projector, and in OBS. And there's supposed to be a setting in OBS that allows for OBS to save the projectors when you exit OBS. And it works about 25% of the time. And so, you know, when you're trying to run, I'm trying to run this little Mac here primarily headless. The idea is it boots up, it does the thing. And there's a couple other things that I'll be using it for in the future, but it does the thing. And I don't want to have to drag out a keyboard and mouse and get in there every time and know whether or not I'm actually going to have the projector running. This shouldn't be that hard, I don't think. The copy of OBS over here is just being used to record. And it does that perfectly every time, although we had a network problem here, internet problem here yesterday, and the IP address on this Mac Mini somehow got changed, and so Companion couldn't find it to start the record, and I noticed it about 5 minutes before going on tonight and had to quick fix it. That wasn't the fault of OBS, though. Honestly, that's the fault of Xfinity, I think. I thought at first it was the fact that there's a new version of OBS that dropped today, and I updated to it like a fool. But anyway, yeah, so if the way it's supposed to work, Jeff, I'll show you real quick. It's not hard, supposedly, but let's get that out of the way. You go into, oops, I got to find the keyboard and mouse for that machine. Turn it on. So you go down to settings here, and in general, I think it is, you come down and under the section for projectors, I make sure projectors are always on top, and then save projectors on exit. And so what's supposed to happen is with them saved, when you relaunch OBS the next time, it's supposed to reload your projectors. Now, one other complication here, and I guess this would be pretty much how everyone else does it too, is I've got, whoops, no, don't do that, go away. It's cool when it works. Of course, I got screen mirroring going on. Now, on this machine, it's pretty simple. It's the same thing out both monitor ports. And then to turn it on when it doesn't work, you have to go to this little gear icon up here, and you go open projector, program projector, and I have to point it to the correct monitor. So that's really all it is. It's not like it's a huge thing to do. But just annoying that I have to do it. Whoops. That didn't work. Finish that. There we go. All right. Hit two buttons too fast. So anyway, that's it's neat. Like I said, when it works. Cool when it works. Not cool when it doesn't. So anyway, let's see. Speaking of the Mac Minis, they both got new audio interfaces for future stuff. Right now, if you need a 2x2 audio interface, yeah, it's a pain here because not everything has a live monitor going all the time. That's all, Jeff. Maybe if I rearrange the stuff going on in the matrix switcher, it'll be a little easier to deal with that. Right now, I've got to do a thing and do a thing and do a thing. So anyway, I was saying if you need a, and this is not sponsored, this is just passing on a good deal. If you need a 2x2 audio interface that's inexpensive, good quality, the Minifuse 2 is on sale at Amazon right now for $119. It's regularly $199. So the only thing I would say bad about it, I bought two of them, one for each of the Mac Minis. The only thing that I would say bad about it is that it's a USB-C interface, and the cable that comes with it is a USB-C to USB-A. And this did not come with a USB-C to USB-C. And it's like, this is 2026, come on. So yeah, Minifuse 2. So anyway, obviously I have cable, so it's not like it's a huge deal, but come on, Arturia. You stuck all the cables in the box for the 16 rig. You could do them in here too. So anyway, let's see some other things that I can't really see. Actually, can I see? Oh, it looks much better. Let's see. Oh, I've got so many USB cables too. They're never the right one. It's never the one that I need for the job. I don't know if it passes, if that passes charging power to an iPad or not. I know the, do I know? I don't think it does, and I don't think, I was going to say that the Motu M2 or M4 does, but I don't know that it does either. I've not tried it. I do know that an iPad can power either of the Motu or the Minifuse without a problem, and it draws like no power. So I mean, you could probably get several hours of use without if your iPad is fully charged, Setting power, audio MIDI. Yeah, so back in the Lightning days, Apple and Belkin and a couple others had an adapter that was a Lightning port on one end, a USB-A on the other side, and a Lightning port that was for charging. And they had those for USB, HDMI, and something else, audio. And then there were a couple of third-party manufacturers that had it. So Lightning power in, Lightning to the iPad or iPhone, and then out of that came HDMI, USB, and audio. So yes, we do, Jeff. Some of us do. I got a full traveling rig, and it's going to get fuller. This is not on the list, but Atom Audio is coming out with they teased it in a brilliant way on April 1st. But Atom Audio, well, so the camera connection, I'll come back to that. Atom Audio is, they make these D3V desktop near field monitors that I use, and they're wonderful. So they're coming out with a backpack that will hold the two monitors, an audio interface, pair of headphones, 16-inch MacBook Pro, and like a 25-key MIDI controller and cables and some other stuff, all in one bag with a thing that drops onto your suitcase. So you can carry you can carry a whole studio with you on your back. And I'll tell you what, I am all for it. Firewire. Firewire is, I think Firewire is dead, Kurt. So the camera there's interesting things about the camera connection kit. The original camera connection kit was a connector for an iPhone on one end, whatever version, iPhone or iPad you had. They had Lightning, and they had a 30-pin version of it. The other end was a USB-A port, and that was it. There was no power feed through, and enough people griped that they came up with one with power. And like I said, they came up with it for HDMI as well and audio. So Apple does listen on occasion. So let's see. So that's the Arturia stuff. I've got the, yeah, we talked last week about the 16 rig and its little weirdness with outputs 3 and 4. That seems to be rock solid now, so I'm happy about that. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to set something up. So let's see. My monitor died. My computer monitor died. It didn't completely die, but it's dying horribly. So I was all upset because, you know, I had this nice 28-inch 4K monitor, and it was starting to do things like flicker and ghost and all kinds of weird stuff. So I was very upset because in my mind it was like 2 years old, 3 years old. Went back to the order history. Turned out it's 5.5 years old. It's been on 24/7, 365 since the day it came in the house, mostly. So, you know, I guess I can, you know, not be so upset. So anyway, new monitor. New monitors here, and that reminds me. I want you guys to tell me. I'm running the local monitor. I'm running everything at 2K, and letting the HDMI matrix. No, it's still a 20. It's a 27 actually a little smaller. But I'm running, like I said, running the resolution now at 2K, and which I tried the 2 before, but I'm not so sure. So if I'm going to bring the DAW back up, and I want you guys to tell me if it looks, for folks who are viewing on, you know, anything bigger than your phone, I want you to tell me if it looks fuzzy, you know, because I like this mode because I can get a little more screen real estate. And obviously when I'm not doing a stream, I can do whatever resolution I want. But so we've got, you know, this guy going, and so we've got Absynth there. And actually, I want to do for the little bit, we'll do a bigger version of Absynth here. This is one thing that's I really like about Bitwig. You can't do this. I haven't been able to make this work in Ableton. Let's see, slight fuzz not illegible on the phone, but zooming in is crisp. Okay, that's good. So one thing I've been able to do in Bitwig that I couldn't get to do regularly or reliably or sometimes at all in Ableton Live is a different size of a VST interface per track. So in this track I've got Absynth nice and big like this, and the other tracks it's sized down. So I don't. I think that's pretty cool. I haven't been able to do that before. Well, you're not. See, and the thing is, you're not actually seeing the new monitor. I am. So it looks great to me here in 2.5K native resolution. It's a 4K monitor, and I could do 4K, but that I think starts to look really fuzzy. But you guys are seeing a scaled down, seeing it scaled down to 1080. Because I'm only streaming at 1080. If it's not bad, we'll keep it that way. If people complain, then you know, maybe I'll change it back. It's not that it only takes a second to change it back. So a couple mouse clicks. Let's see. I forgot to set up for this. We were talking a while back about that VST Ultra from Ultra.audio. And one of the problems that came up was that it's not possible to save like a one-off. The only way to share patches, or the only way to distribute patches, was to create a pack and upload that to their store. You know, if you don't have a whole pack's worth, or you just want to, you know, share something with a couple of folks to bounce ideas back and forth, there wasn't a way to do that. So there's a way. There is a way now to be able to share a patch without publishing it, but it's still through a cloud scenario. So I'm still not thrilled about it, but you can go in and you can save off, and then you can create a share, a private share to an individual patch. It gives you a web link that you can send, and it stays shared for 10 days, and then the link expires. But if somebody opens goes to the share and opens it and saves it to their library, then they'll have a copy of the patch. So but it requires internet connection, and I'm not thrilled with that. Yeah, I don't have room for that. I thought about buying a 32-inch, but I think even that would be overpowering. So 27, 28 inches over here is just fine. It's only 3 feet from my face. Which reminds me, I forgot to bring my close-up glasses in here. So anyway, they did let on, the folks at Ultra.audio did let on that a local patch export is in the works and will be coming in a future release. And then the caveat to the link share business is that if there's a custom sample involved or a user sample involved in the patch, that will have to be manually shared. So you have to send somebody the link and then send them, if you've got a custom sample in there, you've got to send them that separately. So anyway, that's a little annoying. But that's, at least something's happening. And they responded. So it took forever, but they actually responded. So that's a good thing. Lets me know they're at least trying to listen. Let's see, moving down quickly because it's getting late. I've got a little bit of a Reverb.com rant. As you know, I'm selling some stuff. Yeah, so I'll back up a second. Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous. The thing is that the patches are all stored in an SQLite database. Which means, and I said this, several months ago or a couple months ago, whenever I was ranting about this before, if somebody smarter than me could make a little app that could go in and grab a patch and export the stuff in an SQLite file that you could then import into your own database, and share them around that way. I suspect that samples would also have to be shared separately along with the SQLite file. But it shouldn't be that hard a thing to do. And 20, 30 years ago when I was doing that kind of stuff regularly, I'd whip it out in a day, and it'd be fine. But I haven't done any real SQLite database stuff in 25, 30 years. And it's just something I don't really want to learn right now. Well, again, it shouldn't be hard. It should be able to be natively in the piece of software. But I don't know. They made a decision at the time of programming, and they're rolling with it, and that's fine. So anyway, Reverb.com rant. As you know, I'm selling a bunch of stuff, and I got off my butt last week and finally listed 7 items. And COBOL, Fortran. Anyway, I finally got off my butt, listed a few of the things, and 4 of them sold. 4 of the 7 items have already sold, and so the total sales for the 4 items was not bad, $860 roughly in total sales. And what Forspoken here? No modules you don't need are for sale. But so anyway, 4 items sold, total about $860, and that racked up $254 in various fees. Processing fees, a selling fee, bump fee, and then sales tax that had to be collected, and that got paid out, and shipping costs. And I was like, my God, that's a lot. The other side of that is it's, you know, the result is a little over $600 in my pocket that I didn't have before. So I mean, you know, it's a make money, but or get some income, but you know, there's an awful lot in fees, and yeah, don't look at your IRS stuff. That was bad. So I sold. What did I sold? An Electron model samples. I sold a Behringer RD6, the translucent purple one. I sold an original generation Polyend tracker. And what was the fourth thing? I already don't miss it. Let's see, tracker, RD6, model samples, some other thing, because I don't remember. Yeah, our IRS stuff is a real fiasco this year too. And actually, I think the state is worse than the state of Maryland's parts is worse than the IRS part. They're both bad, but I think the state was worse. I can't remember. It's just all bad. So what's left? I'm trying to remember what the fourth thing I sold was. So what's left? There's a Zoom Live Track L20R mixer interface. There is a Erica Synth LXR02, the desktop version, and there's a Behringer Xenix monitor, studio monitor control thing that's currently listed. And it's going to drive me crazy wondering what that fourth thing was now. But anyway, and then starting tomorrow, I'll be listing some more stuff, a lot of guitar pedals. Oh, yeah, that's, yes, the alternative minimum tax, such fun. So anyway, I got some guitar pedals that'll be going out. There'll be an Arturia Mini Lab 2. I'm going to keep the 3, obviously. Probably a Launchpad Pro Mark III, a Modal Sculpt and a Modal Craft Synth 2. Those I know for sure. I haven't decided which of the Korg, which of the PiKorg ones are going to be sold, and what's going to get kept. I haven't decided all of that yet, but PiKorgs are going. Some or all. I don't know yet. Yeah, so that's what's on the list as of now. Oh, and I'll probably, even though it works well with Bitwig, works very well with Bitwig, I'll probably let the Mark 1 Control S go. I've got a 61 key. The Sculpt is a neat little synthesizer, but I have a Cobalt 5S, and so and they're very similar as far as the way they work and the way they sound. So I don't need both, and so there's that. The Craft Synth is kind of like a way cut down Argon, down to like one voice, as opposed to 8. The PiKorgis that I have, with the exception of the multi-poly, are in tall dog cases. So they're not rack mounted, but they're, let's see if I can reach one. Hang on. So they've been mounted up. Make sure it's right side up. So it's in a 22-inch wide unit. And the frame that this was done by Tall Dog. Dan did a fabulous job on these kits. So this is all metal. You know, it's an aluminum case, beautifully made, and actually I think it's steel. It feels more like steel than aluminum, but it's, I mean, very professional. And even like the you know, the output jacks are all nicely silkscreen labeled, which would be in focus if the camera would catch focus. This thing focuses so slowly. But anyway, they're all nicely silkscreened, really nicely built, well heat sinked, because we took out a lot of the air. Oh, cool. So these are really nice. So I've got the wave state, the mod wave, and the op6 in those cases. And yeah, it's too bad it's not 19-inch, but you couldn't do, I mean, the front panel of the synth is just shy of 22 inches wide on the actual hardware synth, and there's no way to narrow it down. The rack mount versions, actual Korg rack mount versions lose the pitch bend and mod wheel and some other stuff to squash them down into 19 inches. So the only one that I don't have in one of those cases is the multi-poly, and Korg changed the way the case is constructed and the top plate is constructed for the multi-poly, so you can't put it in one of those cases. I couldn't put it in one of those cases if I wanted to. Yeah, we still need to get down to we still need to do that. And I'm expecting the op6 of the four. I will probably keep the multi-poly hardware. The op6 is on the bubble. If I keep the op6, I will put it back into its keyboard. As horrible as the keys on the keyboard are, I will put it back into that, because the op6 is fun to mess with live. And having it in the case while you're trying to reach to do something doesn't work as well. So if I keep the op6, it'll go back in its keyboard. I've got the keyboards for all of the ones, you know, the keyboard shells. I kept everything, so I can revert them if I want to. So just still deciding on which ones of those are going to sell, and the other question becomes, how much do you ask for them? You know, those kits were 200 and some bucks when they were still available. They're not available. Hey there, good to see you. The Mixmaster's in the house. So it's a decision I got to make as to whether I'm going to keep the op6 and the multi-poly or not. The other two I know are going. They do much better in software, and now that I have XY control, I'm going to have to make some. So there's going to be some developments on the XY. This one that's down here is decent, and it works actually quite well with the Polybrute. It works better with the Polybrute than it does with a lot of other stuff. But I am eventually going to make my own, and that way I'll be able to send the extra CCs that the wave state and the mod wave use that are not available on a standard XY. But that's going to be down the road. Oh, the other thing that's going to go for sale, not right away, but is going to go for sale, is going to be my Mark I KeyStep 37. Because I'm going to get the Mark II of the KeyStep 37. And the primary reason that I'm going to make that upgrade is the second modulation output CV, but also the improvements to the sequencer and the arpeggiator. Gains a lot of the sequence and arpeggiation functions from the Mini Freak built into this, or into the 37 key format. So that will be a definite improvement, fun thing. So anyway, that, let's see. Oh, so here's another thing about reverb that it took me by surprise, and not in a pleasant manner. When you put something on reverb, you put up a price, and you can give the option to be, you can put up the option that people can make an offer, which is cool. I like that. I enable that. What I didn't realize was going to be enabled was some set of rules somewhere that allows the reverb platform to negotiate a price for you on your behalf. So I got an offer on something, and I went to go respond to it and found out that I had already responded with a counter offer. And then the next thing I know, I had sold the thing. They had accepted my counter offer, and I said, okay. I didn't know I counter offered. So, that was a little disconcerting. And I don't know on one of the items if I would actually have accepted the offer. But it's in the box now. It's gone. Went off to it's off to the post office or FedEx, whichever one I sent that one to. And what was that fourth item? Damn it. Don't get old, guys. I guess I could look it up, but I'm too lazy. Yeah, I guess that's what it is, I make you an offer you can't refuse. What was the this is going to drive me. I got to look this up, guys. Sorry, this is going to drive me nuts. Let me look in my store real quick. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back. That's not what I wanted. There it is. Oh, I know what it was. Well, I know now what it was because I looked it up. I had a Behringer Flow 8 little mixer audio interface thing, which was nice, iPad driven, nice little mixer, but I used it exactly twice in 2023, and I just don't, I obviously don't need it. So if I haven't used it in a while, it's going out of here. I don't mind if I lose a little money on something like this. I just would rather somebody be using it and enjoying it. So that was, and this guy apparently has an actual need. The guy who bought it, now it's coming back to me, has an actual need for it sometime later this week. So I got it out to him. He should have it on Wednesday, I hope, which will give him time for his need on Thursday. But they all left out of here with 2-day shipping. So that's that. All right, let's. Hey, Milo, good to see you, my friend. Been a while. Do you like telescopes? So I have a telescope sitting in the living room in the box. I've had it since I was about yay big. It's not a great one. And I went through it. It's been sitting up in my mother's attic for years. And so I went, and shipping's getting worse. So anyway, I went and opened up the box the other day and started going through it. And I had several objectives for it. And the objective, my favorite objective for the telescope is missing, which really upsets me. 4:15, geez, that's too early in the morning, dude. That's just too early in the morning. But thank you for waking up and coming to see us. Yeah, so I had an objective that had the filtering so that you could look at the sun with the thing and see sunspots and stuff like that. Or you could use it to actually get a decent view of an eclipse or that kind of thing. And that objective is gone. And so I'm really, really upset about that. I am super interested in, I won't say super interested, not interested enough to sell out the money right now, but I am really interested in those C-Star camera telescopes. I don't need a super fancy one. If I wanted, so and guys, you got to track Kurt down on the interweb somewhere. I think he has shared them on Facebook in the past. This dude makes some fabulous astrophotography stuff. Just beautiful photographs, and he's had them on Facebook. Funny story about Facebook I'll get to in a second. But yeah, just some absolutely fabulous pictures. I'm interested in those C-Stars. I know they're limited. I know they're not the greatest scope. I know they're not the greatest camera. But I do like that they are relatively inexpensive. They're easy to set up and use, and they do automatic tracking. I'm interested in probably the 500, I think, is the one that I would be interested in from what I've seen. And there may be something similar that's better, that's similarly priced. I don't know. But that's the one that seems to be getting, those are the models that seem to be getting the press and the most use and the most coverage, and therefore have the most user support that I've seen. I would, I don't know if I would want to go the whole, get a real refractor and the whole thing route, a reflector. The one that I have is a refractor. And it's old. So anyway, yeah, that would be cool. So funny Facebook story. I guess about a year, 15 months ago, something like that, I decided to close my Facebook account. So I deleted the account, the whole thing, all gone. And so I decided last week that for reasons, I wanted to go ahead and restart my Facebook. There are some great user groups on Facebook for various music things and various other interests that I have. You simultaneously have some time and don't have time. I know how that goes. There's time left in your life, Jeff. Don't worry about it. So anyway, I went into the Facebook thing and went to open a new account thing, and because I had closed my account, and it's past the window of time to be able to reuse, according to their documentation anyway, to be able to use my old account stuff. So I went down the new account path and put in my email address, and used the same email address I was going to use before, put all the same information in, go through their little photographic, they now have the little scan your face ID system to verify that, verify who you are and all that stuff. Went through the whole thing, clicked OK, clicked go, and I was immediately banned for violating terms of service. So I'm digging around in this. Apparently, they've decided that I've been banned, and this is a permanent ban. I can never go on Facebook again, according to them. So I was banned for the crime of trying to reestablish my Facebook account using my email that had been used before. and they're getting bitchy about me having having multiple accounts, because having multiple accounts as a regular user is forbidden on Facebook, and I get that. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. You know, so I'm like, really? And there's no recourse, none at all. You know, everything just points like, you're banned, you're dead, go away, don't see us again. And of course, they don't respond. They don't respond to emails. I don't think they read them. They've got email addresses that you're supposed to be able to send to, but they don't read them. So yeah, it's like, you know, really. So anyway, you know, what the Zuck, you know, come on, dude. So it's just like, you know, anyway, I miss, there's certain things that I miss about Facebook, but I don't, you know, to hell with it. Oh no, don't even do that. My God, if you try and use an email, I think that's where I got myself in the most trouble, because I said, oh, okay, it doesn't like that I'm using the old email address. Fine, let me use let me use my .me address instead of my Gmail account. Okay, cool. Boom. Then I'm completely screwed. You know, and it's like, that's it. It's like, so anyway, yeah. Yes, look up, definitely go see Kurt's stuff on the Book of Faces, because his astrophotography is fabulous. Yeah, definitely go see the stuff. So what my Facebook before was primarily family and friends and music stuff and model train stuff, and you know, I didn't get too terribly political. I would make the occasional political comment, but nothing terribly outrageous in the last, I don't know, 10 years anyway. So anyway, you probably won't be seeing me on Facebook. But grow a beard and call yourself. Where is it? Somewhere I've got a fake beard. You know? Hey, finally finished a song. All right. I haven't finished a song in a long, long time. Well, yeah, Facebook is the only place you advertise your shows. You know, and there's stuff I know there's stuff I'm missing out, because there's EMPS traffic going on there, and you know, so I'm missing stuff, and it annoys me that I tried to do it by the instructions. That's what really ticks me off. Yeah, you can't send me a link in Facebook Messenger, you know. So I'm out on Blue Sky at this point. You know, maybe they're pissed off at me because I'm on Blue Sky. I don't know. You know, I'm on the competition. But anyway, so that's, my gosh, it's 25, almost 25 after. We didn't get to play with any new stuff, so we'll do that next week. No on EMPS there except for the ads. Okay, well, that's good. But so there's another one though that I'm missing. You know, I'm missing out on stuff on the Electronica Fest group. So I have no idea what's going on with Electronica Fest. So Paul, you're going to have to keep me in the loop. You know, because I don't know what's going on. I had signed up to play again next year. So I don't know. Anyway, we will find out, I guess. And I'll pester Facebook some more through email and other stuff if I can. But yeah, I'm screwed. What can I say? So anyway, I had planned to do some goofing around in Absynth and maybe Zebra 3 tonight, but we've had such a good time talking and whatnot. So I'm going to put that off until next week, which will give me time to spend some more time with it. Absynth 6, but real quick, Absynth 6.1 came out the other day, a couple days ago. So let's see. The update included 32 new instrument presets, 100 new samples. They've added the ability to undo and redo, because you didn't have undo. They've added a audio modulation input, which they didn't have before. LFOs can now retrigger or auto trigger. There were issues in the past with metadata editing for properties in the list browser. That's been fixed and works now. And save and save as functionality now works properly and is actually has visual indication when you've modified a preset, which it didn't have before. And that not working right goes all the way back to the beginning. So still things you can't do. You still can't import custom wavetables. Know that you still don't have envelope presets, which as important as envelopes are in Absynth, it would be really nice if you come up with a cool envelope to be able to save it. Let's see. You still can't save or load effects presets. They're locked to the actual patch in Absynth. And there's still no direct parameter mapping, although I still feel that with 20 macros, essentially, you should be able to be okay, because you can map either single or multiple parameters in the synth to a macro, and then control that from your controller or via MIDI, whatever you want to do. So that's, yeah, sounds kind of lame, huh? It's still an amazing synth, and to have be able to map 20 parameters out, well, 20 plus, you just have 20 controls. I think that's, you've only got 2 hands and 10 fingers and 2 feet, and most controllers work in groups of 8 or 9. So, I think it's a pretty good compromise myself. A lot of people want to be able to map every knob and every button and everything, and that, I think, may have been valuable in Absynth 5 and earlier, because of the way parameters were entered in those earlier versions. But with 6 and later, the way the parameters work now, it's so much cleaner and so much easier. I don't think that being limited to 20 is really going to be that big a deal for 99% of people, And let's see, there's other notes here that I was supposed to have. So for some reason, not in my notes. Zebra 3 is in final beta. The bunch of improvements there, and I don't have the list up. I thought I had put the list in the show notes. But look for the final version of Zebra 3 to actually ship sometime in May officially, according to the word. And let's see, if you're on the beta license or if you're on the beta license for Zebra 3, the beta license will expire sometime in June or July. You can still get in on the at least through the rest of this month, and probably somewhere in the next month, you can still get the early intro price before it goes up to $249 or whatever the regular price is. I think the intro price is €179. That's euros. I don't know what it is in dollars. And I pre-ordered a long time ago, so I just, when the Switch comes, I'll get my updated license and keep right on going. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to some time to play with it, and both of these just hit the other day. So Deep Gamma, Deep Gamma, wasn't that a grunge band? I don't know. Anyway, so anyway, it's 9:30. we'll play with software next week, or maybe I'll come up with a couple of live streams on the fly. Lots of new stuff. Yeah, Piano Tech had teased a new instrument. Synthmaster 3 is out. I don't know. I never really got jazzed by Synthmaster. I mean, it sounds good. It sounds great. But it never really, for whatever reason, the UI and the way the user experience overall never really grabbed me. And you know, there's a point at which there's just too many, and I've already got too many. When we started a few weeks ago, starting to pick the ones that are going to be the primaries and starting to organize, and then I changed DAWs, so I've got to go back and kind of start getting back into that. No, just asking for money. Oh my. Yeah, dollars. It's all about dollars. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to, I'm not even, it's 9:30. Jeff, I guess you're not streaming tonight, but if you are, I'll get out of your way right now. And otherwise, you all have a great evening. I'm not even going to do a closing jam tonight because it's run so late. So thanks, guys. You all have a great one. I will see you all. What the heck was that lighting up for? Something just did a strange thing on the switcher. So anyway, thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate everyone. It's good to see you all. And I will be back again next week, if not before. Thanks all. See ya.